Welcome back to Daybreak Extra, and thank you for staying with us. Now, subsidy removal, of course, is the headline of the leading story in every major newspaper house or media house in general, and the social media. President Tinubu's inaugural speech that, with the effect of removing fuel subsidy, saying that it is gone, pump price hike from 195 naira to 550 naira. That's about over 20 or 200% increase, with attendant price increase in transport fares, food items, and other necessities that is basic, in our lives. So now tell us how you feel. How do you feel about the subsidy removal, the effect? Because I think it's the ripple effect, since we know that the subsidy needs to be gone, but then the ripple effect it's causing and in our lives, in the society, as a person, how do you feel about this? Are you supporting it or against it? Now, if you're supporting it, tell us why. If you're against it, tell us why. Give us reasons, smart reasons. Now, we're hoping that, of course, the government is watching this. So this is a platform for you to have intelligent, constructive, a very smart case, to present to the government. There is no room for insult, no room for getting too overly sentimental. Just tell us what's happening in your area. How are you coping so far, regarding the fuel subsidy removal and the price hike? So you can call us or send us a WhatsApp on the number on your screen right now. So, okay, we already have a caller, a quick one. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Haruna Muma. I'm calling from Cairo,
Okay.
Abuja.
Okay, Haruna from Cairo. Tell us what's your take on the fuel subsidy removal.
Yes, actually, is a very good idea, but my problem is just the way and manner it was done. So it would have been much more appropriate if the government had, just like you rightly said, have a kind of system on ground that would cushion the effect of this suffering. Because honestly speaking, it has not been easy from the first day the president made that pronouncement. And it is obvious that the marketers or the fuel station already had those products that they bought at the initial fair price. And suddenly they hike it to about 500 plus 540, 537 thereabouts, which is not easy. So I would have, it would be better if the government look into it. They should just have a peaceful resolution with labor, and they have to do the needful, because it's not easy for ordinary Nigerians to survive by this time. It is quite understand that the elite will not do it because they have all what it takes to survive this whole process or this whole thing. But if you compare it with the ordinary Nigerian, it's not something that is sustainable to us, because actually you will see people trekking long distance when coming back from work. You see people at the motor park. There's no motor. Even if there's any motor that comes, the price will just take people away. So I'm using this opportunity to plead on the federal government to dialogue with labor and marketers and all stakeholders that are involved. Let them have a peaceful resolution to this thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
That's my thing. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Haruna, for that lovely contribution there. So do not forget, of course, to call us and tell us what's happening in your area. So, Aisha, I remember the director of the NNPCL, that's Mele Kyari, he mentioned something about the major cities that consume fuel, and it's the Lagos, Abuja, River States, yes, Port Harcourt, and I can't remember the fourth one that he called, but these are major cities. And he said that so he feels even because these countries or these cities actually consume more, it's not really affecting the poor more. So and right now the poor are against it, or the masses are against that. Okay, we have another caller there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Comrade Nachi. I'm calling you from in Cairo local government area of Nasarawa State.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Go ahead.
All right. I want just to say that it is a complete April in June. I am saying this is this. If actually they removed the subsidy, the NNPCL should have put prices where the petroleum will be dispersing in each state as it is right now. If actually they have removed the subsidy, the market force should have determined how much each fuel station or each company will sell the product. And you also know that NNPC Limited is so importer of fuel in this country. Why? If actually they have removed the subsidy. For me, I support the subsidy removal, but let the federal government remove their hand from importing, or NNPC shouldn't be the sole importer of fuel in the country, so that other marketers can also import. If they have the money to build refinery or modular refinery in the country to also make the fuel available in the country, for me, it will be a welcome development. But for now, as it stands, they just increase the money, not that they remove subsidy. Next time, we also hear that they want to finally remove the subsidy. But you, I'm just telling you the fact. They are just deceiving us. They are just deceiving us. Let them find the fact. They have not removed the subsidy. They are still paying subsidies. They don't want to tell us the truth. That's my contribution. Thank you. And I have a nice celebration. All
right, thank you so much for calling in. Okay, so he's saying that there's still subsidy, which currently I think it's supposed to end this June.
This also comes when Nigerians do not really believe. Some Nigerians do not really believe in the government. You know, when some of these policies come, there's this doubt that sets in. That caller just identified that he does not agree with the fact that this subsidy has been removed. And if at all it has been removed, how come they're not taking a look at, price variation, okay? But then I think there's this disbelief in the system.
And the government needs to prove themselves, to the people.
Okay, so let's take the next caller. We have a caller. Hello. Good morning. Where are you calling from?
Okay. All right. Okay, good morning.
How are you?
Yes, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Mohammed, calling from Azari.
From Azari?
Yes,
okay, Bauchi State. Okay, go ahead. What's your thoughts and what's happening in your area?
Yes, in fact, I'm in support of... Hello?
Yeah, of course, we can hear you. Go ahead.
In support of the removal of fuel subsidy. Provided that I'm trying to realize that subsidy will be utilized and I will not be stolen by thieves. Thank you.
Okay. Are you still with us?
No, I'm okay now.
Please stay away from your TV set and just talk to us. Okay, I think we lost that caller. Please, if you're calling us, stay away from your TV set. That way we can have, we can understand each other. There's a feedback if you should stay a bit, so it's going to, have an issue, of course. So, like I said, if you've been trying to reach us, of course, you can still send a WhatsApp message, to tell us what's your take on the removal of fuel subsidy in the country. So, Aisha, I was telling you, that Mele Kyari said that the major cities that are consuming fuel, it's occupied by the rich, or the people that can afford it. So it doesn't really afford, it doesn't really affect them. Okay, so we have a message there. It says, it is a very good idea, but the problem is that the money saved from subsidy will end up in someone's pocket. We are appealing to President to please make sure that the money is being used accordingly on improving lives of Nigerians. Now, this is a really great message. I wish you had dropped your name and, where you sent this message from. But yes, we appreciate it. It's a very smart message, Okay,
I think I was speaking to someone about it, but before we continue the conversation, we have a caller on standby. Good morning, and where are you calling us from?
Yes, I'm calling from Benue State. My name is about the Kedanet. The issue regarding about the subsidy.
Okay, let's have your contribution.
Yes, I'm in support of the subsidy removal because that subsidy, they are just using it to recruit all Nigeria in things that does not matter. And that they said bye-bye to subsidy. And some kind of people are there with only making the fuel price. It is really too bad to the poor. which is too bad. They should organize some agencies that will go through all those things. And if some offices that they need to replace some people so that the smooth flow will go on Nigeria, they should do it. It's very, very uncalled for.
Okay. Thank you very much for that beautiful contribution. You know, regarding the WhatsApp message, before we take the caller that just contributed, I was speaking to an educationist, I think last week, about the same day the president had his inauguration speech. And then he did say that when the president comes in, if this fuel subsidy has been removed, he hopes that the president puts measures in place where these monies that are going to be removed, they are put in places. He did mention health, he mentioned education, and he also mentioned infrastructure. That when you have all of these in place, Nigerians are not really demanding for much. Nigerians are really not demanding for much. But then we hope the president knows this and he hears this, and he eventually puts the monies gotten from the fuel subsidy removal into the places they ought to be put in.
Hopefully. So we have another caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
All right, I'm Isaac and I'm calling from Jos.
Okay, from Jos. What's your take on the fuel subsidy removal?
All right, for me, they are very, very quick to do something that has a very direct bearing on the poor. But how about take home the National Assembly people? How about reducing the number of convoy, the ministers and the rest, we've not heard anything concerning that. Of course, he would say, okay, these things will come up maybe later. But I think these things should be said simultaneously. Okay, regarding subsidy, I'm doing this. Then regarding our convoys and all that, so I think these things should be said simultaneously so that it will not look like it's only what will affect the poor that we are laying emphasis on. We should also look at how it also affects our leaders, how they are going to cut down costs of governance so that everything will look balanced. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that call from Jos. He mentioned cutting down on governance, and I remember what Shekarau said, recently, where he mentioned cutting down on governance, that we don't need a lot of, legislators.
I think over the years, people have always mentioned this, cutting down the cost of running government, the cost of governance. You have monies that you give to these governors, maybe, and then they have these vehicles.
The senators 109, House of Representatives 360, and they have allowances, they have a lot of things ongoing. So now, while some are arguing that they should even remove, cut down on the numbers, some are arguing that perhaps they should cut down on the money they give them, the allowances, in order to use it in other sectors.
Right.
Okay, so we have another caller there. Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Maiduguri. Is it Trust TV?
Yes, it's Trust TV. Go ahead.
Yeah, usually you are talking about the subsidy removal. You're against. Is it so?
Yeah,
is it so as well? Eh? Yeah, my own contribution is that it's too early for the president to remove subsidy because it provides politics before the subsidy is good. Is it so?
Go ahead, we can hear you. Okay, I think we lost that caller. Okay, from Maiduguri, he was saying, the government were too quick. Now that's the main, bone of contention from people saying it's too quick.
It's too quick.
Why not set some?
I think it's more about the timing, not the policy.
Yes, not the policy.
We did say you could reach us via phone calls or text message, WhatsApp messages, and we have one message here where this person is saying, Salam, if at all subsidy is removed, there should be price control and importation of goods, that's consumables, into the country to cushion the pains experienced. Thank you. This is from Sanusi motorbus from Kano State.
Morabus.
Okay.
Okay, so,
I think that's actually a good one.
Indeed.
You know, there should be price control. You did talk about that earlier in the program. There should be price control because we know that the effect of this subsidy removal is going to trickle down on the cost of products, food items in the market.
Indeed, everything. People that, you know, Nigerians, we are known for loving weddings, even though people don't see it as basic necessity, but it's something that is already part of us. Okay, so we have another caller there. Good morning. Good morning. Are you with us?
Yes, I'm Mohammed Salus from Katsina State,
Okay.
local government.
Okay, Muhammad from...
And my contribution is that being we are in critical situation and the fuel subsidy is removal now. You see what happens in the country and how people are suffering. With that, I look at if there is any slight solution that the Mr. President can make in order to curtail situation, because unfortunately people are dying of hunger and nothing to eat, and at the same time the situation is very critical almost for everyone. As such, I am advising as a Nigerian citizen that let them look at the situation and curtail this problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Muhammad from Katsina. It's all about appealing to the president. The president gave us renewed hope. So
I think a lot of people are in support of the fuel subsidy removal. However, it's more about the timing. You know, I think people are calling on the government to look at the time and also its effect and how to find a way around people managing the situation around the fuel subsidy
for
removal.
now, people are not finding it funny, honestly, Aisha. We've seen situations where people get stranded. You know, you don't have the money to eat and you're thinking of fuel and movements and the work. And I feel like if there should be the one thing, even though say maybe the refinery is something that cannot be gotten quickly, but at least the minimum which should have been discussed first.
Somebody was telling me this morning, he said in Lagos State now, a lot of people are now trekking. And then I'm wondering, they're resorting to trekking because you cannot afford the cost of transportation. How much do you earn per month? You know, it's terrible.
It is terrible indeed. How much do you earn a month, and how can you, survive with that, amount that you already have? And when Melikari said, so people that are enjoying the fuel, or they use fuel more, are not going to be affected. I'm like, no. Even in Abuja, we know there are middle class people, there are poor people. Even in Lagos, and the masses, the middle class are more than the rich people there. Okay, so we have another message here that we'll be reading from the WhatsApp. It says, I am in absolute support of the subsidy removal, but the price inflation is seriously affecting the common man. The government needs to do something about it. It's a whole lot of pressure also for the president, considering that they know that a lot of, the former presidents, one way or another, thought of removing it. Goodluck Jonathan thought of removing the subsidy. President Muhammadu Buhari thought, or former president rather, I beg your pardon, thought of removing the subsidy as well. So right now, Tinubu, the president, is the bold one to like, okay, you know what, it has to be gone. And so it's, of course, comes with a lot of ripple effects, which the pressure is on him. Also, he has to be the one to figure out how to walk through this, because even though people really understand that it has to go, the money is just being wasted, about 4 billion naira, though then they know that at some point it just need either 4 billion or 4 trillion, I beg your pardon. So they know that it had to go, but the pressure is just too much on Nigerians as well, and it's not funny. So we hope that the governor, the president, of course, will get to see this and find a way to, make it easy, cushion the effect. We've been using that word. That word has been trending, cushion the effect for Nigerians to make it easy for them. A really sad one there. We just hope that people and the NNPCL should know that, of course, it's not only the rich that, of course, are going through these things. So, yeah, I think we have more messages. Aisha,
we seem to be having a lot of messages this morning.
Indeed.
But this one says, good morning, everyone in the studio. to be sincere, I think that's what the person wants to say. Tinubu is not just to we Nigerian. We are in rainy season. How much is he expecting us to buy foodstuff from market with this high price of fuel? Haba, justice must be done. This is not what Nigerians voted for.
Oh my God, a really sad one there. Okay, so we have another message there. It says, subsidy comes in odd time. You can't remove the subsidy in Eagle Square and put the country in confusion. Things are getting, out of hands. Increase in transport fares and commodities, and no salary, to the federal government staff are awarded. Were sent home from school. Okay, a really sad one. We only seek Allah's intervention. This is from Babam Bafa from Funtua, Katsina State. Thank you, Babam Bafa, for that message.
And then another one says, I'm in absolute support of the subsidy removal, but the price inflation is seriously affecting the common man. Government needs to do something about it.
Yeah, government needs to do something about it. Okay, another message says, good, the presenter and the guests in the house. I think that's good morning. I support for the subsidy removal, but let government increase the salary of workers. Indeed, that's a really important thing.
Okay, another message from a WhatsApp line. Good morning. I'm in support of the removal of the subsidy, but the approaches of the federal government is not in order because Nigerians are seriously suffering. People cannot even get 1 square meal per day. Wallahi is not easy for many Nigerians. It has to be properly planned before putting into action. And this is coming from Ali Kaka Maiduguri.
Ali Kaka, thank you for that message. We have a good morning. Though I support the removal of subsidy, the federal government should have put the refinery in place or wait for the modular refinery as well in Edo and Delta State. The situation in Warri Delta State is dire. That's really sad. From Kingsley Orekevwe from Warri State. It's so sad.
And then we have another message. Good morning. My name is Ibrahim Tijani. I think if subsidy is removed, the marketers determine the price. Why NNPCL?
Because the price needs to be unified. Else, the marketers will definitely put a selfish, tag to what they want. It's all about every marketer.
I don't think it is right for you to say the marketers should determine what the price should be. I mean, that is why there's a body that is expected to regulate. And then another message from Dr. Benjamin from Kafanshan in Kaduna State. He said, for me, subsidy removal is welcome, but the manner the president exposed it was tragic. He could have told Nigerians till June or July. People are suffering. May God help us.
Amen.
Indeed, may God help us.
Wherever happens, Nigeria comes back to God. So we hope, God is merciful. Okay, so we have a lengthy one here. It says, I'm in support of the subsidy removal. Nigerians have been shortchanged for ages under the guise of the imaginary subsidies. If Tinubu's government is sincere about the whole thing, then the saved money from those crooks, should be invested on infrastructures, health, and agriculture. Minimum wage should be increased. Check corruption in the states, and at federal level, over bloated political office holders pay must be cut down. Anyone not satisfied with this should resign. Thank you. Okay, that is from
Comrade Aduku, Monday, Lokoja, Nigeria.
Indeed, you're a Nigerian comrade.
So we do have a phone call coming in. Okay, I guess we've lost that call, so we'll have... Okay.
So good morning.
Good morning, madam. God bless you.
Thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm happy for your people's program. I'm calling from Jos. My name is Mr. Anthony.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I'm happy with your program because I was watching it on the television before I come outside.
Thank you.
My point? Yes, madam. The shares for source is where they remove. Madam, it's not easy for people. People are suffering. Masses are suffering. And people are dying anywhere. Go to rural areas and see what is happening. People can't afford to buy food. The mood of local rice is 8,000 something. Have the foreign rice, madam. Look, let them people. You are ruling people. Go to the base and find out how people are
doing and know what you are going to do. It's not people in the crowd, people in Abuja or Lagos or Port Harcourt, say they are using a lot of fuel. They have money, but some people don't have money, madam. Okay, you can't travel to Abuja. Just to Abuja now, it's about 5 to 6 to 7,000. How can people travel? Say, I look for what they're going to eat. Please, madam, make one talk to this government. Maybe they remember some of the people go to them inside and that is God. Let anything they are doing, let them know that is God. That is God, because all those things we are doing here, one day we are leaving it and God, we are going to face the judgment. Please, madam, this is what my contribution inside is everything.
Thank you so much for that contribution. And I feel like the government would hear you more than us here, because they, sometimes it's like the media might frame something, but when they hear from you, and I could feel, his, his frustration from the voice. He
spoke so passionately about it, and then this is just basically what we've been hearing from the rest of the callers, and it's indeed a sad one.
Indeed. Okay, so we have another call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kaduna. My name is Nobu.
Okay.
Simon.
Thank you for joining us. What's your take on the subsidy removal?
Concerning the subsidy removal, first, comment about concerning the people that are commenting. So many are agreeing that subsidy removal is okay, but it is not timely. So if by reasons of the antecedents of Nigerian transition, if so many of these Nigerians were able to be careful to follow the antecedents of transition in Nigeria, they can readily discover that any government that comes in and it does not take action radically, it's always been that by the time that everybody be on seat, the newly appointees or the old ones that they left, the remnant of the old people that are in position, they will maneuver until that thing does not come to fruition. So, for what the president did, it is normal. One of the things that I commend the ex-president Obasanjo up till today is that he took radical action on everything that they want to do, because they have been carefully observed that Nigerians, they doesn't learn about history and they doesn't watch history. So for me, subsidy removal is okay. We have been suffering under so many. Transitions. So when this president came in and has cited that the sluggishness or procrastination of the other transition has always been the same and things have not been working. So the Nigerians are supposed to endure. Let us watch at this government now and see if by this subsidy removal we will get some measures of healing or being suffering. Then why don't everyone enjoy it? COVID, we suffer under COVID, and so many things that have happened. So if this government does not watch and enter into it radically and begin to implement some things, there will be insult, there will be agitation, and so on. Even like the NLC, the labor, what and what, that they are agitating. It may be that it's some people that are sponsoring them so that these things will not work. It is the same people, if these things didn't work, they will turn to say that the president is not working. So for me, anything that will bite our body and at the end we are able to benefit from it, I think it is good to go. So that is my own take. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. If I get that caller correctly, I think he's saying the government should learn from past and previous governments. It's just like, okay, you look at what happened during Obasanjo's era, what happened during Jonathan, what happened during Yaradua, then Jonathan, then Buhari. Then I think he's saying you should take a cue from the lessons, and then in implementing policies, be careful. As much as it is for the good of the people, you also have to look back at, okay, because this fuel subsidy removal, the conversation has been the longest. It's not just this administration, it's been there. It's been there. So, but then again, I hope the government listens.
Indeed, indeed. And he also mentioned, perseverance, we should endure. And one thing I would give kudos to Nigerians is enduring, because Aisha, we've been enduring for a long time.
So I think Nigerians are the people that endure the most.
And laugh, using their problems to crack jokes.
Or find a way to joke around stuff.
Indeed.
And then we just...
Indeed. Okay, we have another caller there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, on the issue of subsidy removal is, when you go to the hospital and you are sick and the doctor says, come and take injection. You need to take that injection, and it's important, because if you don't take that injection, you will die. The same thing with the subsidy removal. If we continue with subsidy will kill Nigeria. So we must take that injection that is bitter, that is painful, so that we will stay alive. Subsidy is a disease. It's a disease that is harder and bigger than HIV. It will destroy Nigeria if we continue with it. Whatever we are going through is going to be temporary thing. The Dangote refinery will ease it up. The Boa refinery that is coming up will to ease it up. Federal government refinery, the Port Harcourt Rivers, and the Port Harcourt Warri refineries, when all these come on board, the price will go down. And nobody will be stealing any money anywhere. There is no way NNPC will come and be telling us the consumption for a day is 400 million, 40 million, or 50 million liters of petroleum. So nobody will be telling that stories. And my appeal to government, the government, is that they should try as much as possible to use this excess money that they are going to get on infrastructure, on healthcare, on education. By the time those things are implemented, it will go a long way to ease the pain on Nigerians. So I think, to me, subsidy removal is the best way to go. God bless Nigeria.
Amen. Thank you for that wonderful contribution. Of course, we hope that everything would be fixed. So we have a few messages that would be taken right now.
The first message here, or going back to the WhatsApp messages, with the kind of leaders we have in the country, I think the subsidy should remain for Nigerians to buy fuel at a lower rate. Because even if government made more money from the removal of subsidy, it will end up in governors' pockets and ministers. What benefits are ordinary citizens getting now from the allocation received by the state, apart from paying salaries? And this is from Chiroma Alhaji, Yobe State.
All right, we have another one there. It says, subsidy comes in odd time. You can't remove the subsidy in Eagle Square and put the country's confusion. I think we read this message right here from Babambafa from Funtua, Katsina State, and he made a great point right there. We also read, of course, Dr. Benjamin's message, which was really, it was, a lot of people have a lot to say about this subsidy thing. Okay, so we have from Abdul Rauf Yusuf from Kaduna State. Good morning. Subsidy removal is the only way out for our country. But Mr. President should have remained silent on subsidy removal pending till end of June, because Senate has already appropriated a subsidy in the budget. What will happen to the remaining money? Oh, what a good question there too.
All right. And then we have another message from Aliyasau Garba from Maiduguri, where he said the fuel subsidy removal is quite accepted but too early. However, let's sustain the pain. We will smile in the future. I hope we do smile in the future. Subsidy comes in odd time. You can't remove. Okay, we did take this message earlier. Another message. Good morning. I'm absolutely in support, but the increase in price should have been gradual, and the minimum wages should also have been upwardly improved. We did talk about that earlier in the program, the minimum wage implementation. Another message, good morning. This is from Abubakar Kasim Ibrahim from Jos, where he's saying, I'm praying for the new government. May Almighty Allah protect them and guide them.
No, amen. They need all the prayers there. Okay, so good morning. I am Sajo Chubado Girie. Yes, I am in support of fuel subsidy removal. However, government needs to put things in place to cushion the hardship as a result of the subsidy removal. Now, prices of commodities are spiking and also transportation costs is rising beyond tolerable level. That's true. About double of that, this is so sad.
And then this is another message from Dalhatu Bilyaminu Uthman from Bauchi State, where he's saying, Salam, good morning. As the fuel subsidy removed by Mr. President immediately after his swearing in, and it's immediately taken effect, and immediate ways should be put in place in order to curb the hardship Nigerians are facing more, especially high prices of different commodities and no money in circulation. Well, I can't help but agree with Bilyaminu Osman from Bauchi State.
From Des. That's local government.
The effect of this fuel subsidy removal. A lot of Nigerians are contributing from northwest, north central, different parts of the country, talking about how this is really affecting them. You know, the cost of commodity in the market, transportation fare, and it's not like the salaries have been increased. That is why they're also clamoring for, you know, the implementation or upward review of the minimum wage.
Indeed.
We do have a caller on standby. Good morning, and where are you calling us from? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Lukman Samaila calling from Katsina.
Okay, Smaila from Katsina. Let us have your contribution. Are you in support of the fuel subsidy removal or against it?
No, actually, I'm not in support of it.
Okay. And why aren't you in support of it?
Yes, the reason is that the reason given by the government is that always the subsidy, the payment made on subsidy is being used by the few. The question is, where are those few? Can those be not be? There is no way that they can punish those few that they are punishing Nigerians in. And secondly, now they are saying that Nigerians are not benefiting from it, but from Tuesday this week to today, Nigerians now experience whether they are enjoying a subsidy or not. And secondly, in most of the theoretical economics, they will say that the removing subsidy is necessary because the government will save the money to channel it in education, in healthcare. Announce to them that in Nigerian context, even if this money were spent, instead of them to be channeled for the benefit of Nigerians, actually, usually it ends up in personal pockets. If Nigerians can recall, IPPIS were brought by the Harris administration. What had happened to it? The accountant general was alleged to have stolen billions of naira from the IPPIS. So all this we have to be looking at the Nigerian context before, instead of just looking at the.
Thank you so much for your contribution right there. He's saying that he's not in support of the fuel subsidy removal. And besides, if at all this money is taken out, what about what are they channeling the money into?
That's the fear of many Nigerians, you know, the money, where it goes. And it's because, you know, we've seen how the previous administration has not really been, you know, following someone for accountability, you know. So it all comes back to you're the top, you need to, even though you're delegating authorities, you need to check, you know, supervise that authority. What is happening with that money?
There should be check and balances.
Exactly.
You know, there are lots of government officials that you see the EFCC saying you've stolen this amount
About
of money
a huge
from this particular,
billion and all
you know,
that.
alleged anyways. But then again, okay, if we're taking these people and then we're looking at the cases, we're investigating them, how come we're not prosecuting, or what's the issue?
Exactly.
You know?
The law is not working on that one. So of course, people are having doubts. So of course, it's up to the president to make sure that, you know, everything it's been put in check. There is accountability. That way, Nigeria would, you know, trust the government again. Okay, so we have another caller there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Katsina. I am Isa Adejo Abubakar.
Okay, Isa from Katsina. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I am in support of the removal, but there are some salient issues I want to discuss here. You know, we have not been having sincere government. We have not been having government that care about its citizens. The issue is that the subsidy all this while has been there, and there are corruption associated with this subsidy, and government cannot tell us they are unaware of this corruption. These major marketers are the ones who paid this subsidy, and the ordinary Nigerians are not benefiting from this. There has never been a time we can beat ourselves that we enjoyed this government gave. You understand? Government is aware. The problem with government is that these big oil marketers are dealing with ordinary Nigerians and they cannot do anything to these people. Look at every now and then you hear that subsidy is being paid. Petroleum products are being smuggled across the borders of our country to the Republic, Niger Republic, all other West African countries and some other countries in Africa. And Nigeria cannot police our borders. The government cannot police it. The government is aware of what is happening. The people of this country are being sustained. There is no proper legal instrument put in place to deal decisively with these people. And now, no subsidy without any palliative. Ordinary Nigerians are going to suffer. You understand? And so working the situation, our NLC are now saying that they are calling on the civil society, everybody to go on strike. These people, they have never called us to go on strike on the activities of this major market. Fuel has not been sold at government approved price in Nigeria for once, and nobody has said anything. Even the regulators are not saying anything. We have never bought fuel in this country as government approved price. Government is aware, labor leaders are aware. So there is confusion everywhere. Subsidy removal is very good, but let us do this with human faith. The government promise of putting a palliative that will help Nigerians. Our transport system, there is a problem. The railway system is just coming up. All these things are not yet ready. And the issue of subsidy is here. My prayer is that the removal of this subsidy, let it translate into benefit to the ordinary Nigerians. Else, Nigeria is at the brink of collapse. This is a new government. We want to trust this government and see how they will do. You know, corruption is at every sector of our economy. And you know, the government is paying lip services to most of this issue of corruption. They are not ready to deal decisively with people that are killing this country. You understand? Corrupt people are being paid. Tomorrow, the government will pardon them. They will give them sympathy, typing. All this thing is happening. We are discouraged. The earlier the government sits up and begin to deal decisively with people sabotaging the country, the better for us. There are some people who are above the law. Government knows about them. You understand? So that is the issue we are having. Let government sit up. You understand? Bring people just that are perpetrating these people to book. Let them be charged. Let them be arrested. Let us see how they are going to deal with them, no matter how big, no matter how powerful they are. There's nobody that can be more powerful than the government.
All right. Thank you so much, Isa from Katsina. Really great conversation, a contribution there. He pointed out a lot of things, of course, stating that the government has a lot to do.
And everybody is calling on the regulators, you know, make sure you regulate the activities of the independent petroleum marketers.
Indeed. The Nigerians are patient, so please use that, their patience, and make sure you just give them something to hold on to, make it easy for them while the government puts everything in place. There's a lot, ahead for the new president, and we hope that, God see him through. God make it easy for Nigerians. All right, and with that, of course, we will take a pause on this fuel subsidy conversation. Thank you for all of you who who called in and those who sent messages that we couldn't even read. We hope that, of course, governments are able to cushion the effects of this subsidy removal. Until next week, of course, you get to call us more, but don't go anywhere. We'll take a short breather, and when we come back, the show continues. Stay with us.
Not necessarily tribal or regional.
Where you find that look at the
not necessarily tribal or regional.
I have said that.
Not necessarily tribal or regional.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130.
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
If you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names.